All right. Hello, you guys. So, I have a lot to talk about today. We're going to get real. We're going to be, um, we're going to get real with certain things that are going on physically with this diet and in general. Um, Unlike a vegan, I will talk about the bad parts. I will talk about the struggles. I don't have to shill for this. So if something is going wrong or if something is going right, I can tell you. And right now, I'm having a bit of mixed signals. So one of the biggest issues with hypothyroidism is anxiety. It's one of the earliest signs that you have high estrogen. It's one of the earliest signs that you have, this issue is having really, really terrible anxiety. Over December, my anxiety was so high, I was experiencing panic attacks almost every day. And I think it was just because of where I was at hormonally at the time, where I was at in my recovery. And it was really, really difficult. Very, very, very hard. I also started developing migraines around the eclipse in December 2nd. Or 3rd or whatever. It was like around that time I got this really bad migraine, and it was my first migraine that I had. So over December, I had terrible anxiety and migraines starting. Going into January, I started noticing floaters, especially in my right eye. And in December, I was really scared about my car. Finances have been a major aspect of my fears and my anxieties throughout this past year. My financial situation has been very tumultuous, to say the least, and politically, it is very tied to all the issues. When there are supply chain issues, it affects my work. When the gas prices go up, it affects my work. When inflation is there, it affects my ability to make a living. I feel everything very strongly financially, to the point where there are parts of me that feel resentment towards people that voted the way that they did because of how hard it has made my life. And that's just me being honest. It doesn't mean I don't want to talk to somebody or that I hate somebody. That's not true. I don't. It just means that there are times when I do have resentment because of how much harder it is. Like, the past year has felt like I'm on a treadmill and I'm like running, and it's like I'm trying to get further ahead and I just can't, because I have health issues that make it difficult to work. And in this economy, you practically have to work like 10 hours a day or something to make it. It's probably going to go up to 12, like the way that things are going. And it's just really hard. It's very, very difficult. So throughout the year, I've worked more. I've been recovering, so I've been able to work more. I hit a really good stride in September, but in August, there was a really bad financial situation that I was in, and it just never really got better. So even though I've worked harder, I have not gotten ahead since. I have not been okay since June. It's been really bad, but after August, it got really bad. And then I've been working more, but it's just gotten harder and harder and harder, where like your money is just not worth as much. It's very difficult. It has just been horrible, like a nightmare. And so already when you are anxious from hypothyroid, which this has nothing to do with Biden or the politics. This is within me. I'm already prone to anxiety, but when you combine it with a financial situation that was not the best to begin with, but has been compounded by political forces that are out of my control, it's very difficult. I also would be remiss to say that lockdowns and things like that have zero effect on my mental health at this time. Even though it is in the past, I think it does still, there are still some lingering effects mentally from going through that. So, and I hate to say that because I think this is going to be a problem for a lot of people. It's not just me. So it makes it really hard to work. But when it's harder to work, and then when you do work, your money isn't worth as much. It's like salt in the wound. So, and since I already have really, really terrible anxiety, I would say it's got to be at least somewhat debilitating, and I am working to fix it. Like hell, I am working to fix it. And I had this anxiety, way before the economy went to crap. And, so this has nothing to do with that. That is very much me. I had this really bad in like 2018. That's when it really reached a crisis point. But my anxiety had been getting worse since 2016, so this is like a long-term issue that has only been compounded and made worse by external forces. So it's not even just me anymore. Like now it's everything. So I try my best to let things go, but if you're wondering why I'm so politically active, everything that has happened, it has made me go further right. Honestly, I used to be a centrist. I used to be a center right. Now I'm just full on. So, I don't know. Maybe that's happening to a lot of people too. One of my favorite YouTubers, she's a libertarian and she is very far right. Like her on the political compass. She's a very far right wing libertarian. She's a libertarian though. It's just interesting. I'm seeing that a lot. Because even like my cousin, she was center left. Now she's further. It's like I made everybody further right. It's kind of weird. But it did happen to me too. So that's why I've been politically active, if you're wondering. I don't think my anxiety is, I wouldn't say helping. It's just, I think to express how you feel about things, it's been really healing for me. And to just not care about what people think and just speak my mind, it's really helped my hypothyroid and my anxiety, because to get it out, it just really is healing for me. Because I spent a lot of years of my life suppressed. I suppressed my sexuality, I suppressed my politics, I suppressed a lot of different aspects of my personality and who I am and everything. And a lot of spiritual circles say that that's what causes hypothyroid, and so I wouldn't be surprised if there's some truth to that, because your throat is your voice. And my voice was suppressed for so much of my life. So I'm not going to apologize for who I am or for what I believe. I'm not going to. I'm not going to apologize for having emotions, for being upset about things. I'm just not. So, anyways, that has all been really healing. And people that understand that, thank you. It's, I don't care what you believe or who you are or whatever. If you have understanding for that, and you can understand on a human level what we're all going through, know that regardless of anything, I'm in your corner and I'm wanting things to get better too. I'm not against you. But if you're just trying to pull people down, if you're just trying to, hold somebody else down to keep yourself from drowning, you're not with me. I'm not with you. And I will fight you like hell at this point. So, anyways, getting that aside, I really have struggled with this anxiety. If it wasn't, and because the anxiety is within me, it has nothing to do with anything external. I will find something to be anxious about. So if it's not my car, then it's my heart. If it's not my heart, then it's my finances. If it's not my finances, then it's my vision. And I think I realized that, the financial stress, it's already putting me in a position to struggle with anxiety because your body and your mind and everything has a certain threshold for stress. And if that 50% of stress is taken up by ever pervasive financial stress, then I'm only at 50% more, and I already was low. Like, I already had a low capacity because of being hypothyroid and having anxiety, and this is my fault. I want to be clear. I take responsibility for the fact that I'm hypothyroid. There are certain aspects of it that I can't, like being miseducated, being lied to by the government, this type of stuff. But I knew damn well I should not have been binge eating and stuff. That's why I'm in this situation, 100%. And I binge ate because of suppression. So I guess it all goes together, doesn't it? But anyways, the point is, I don't, over January, I started to develop floaters, or my vision got better. It's very confusing. I don't really know, because on one hand, my vision is getting clearer. It's been getting clearer and clearer ever since, I would say, September. It's been improving drastically. Like, I had terrible night vision when I first moved here, and I literally could not drive at night. In September, I was able to see at night, and over the months, my vision has just been improving and improving and improving. So by January, I don't know if it had improved to the point where I could see the floaters that were already in my eye, or if these floaters came into be at this time. I have very bad nearsightedness, so that makes you prone to floaters, and, even retinal detachment, retinal tears, that kind of stuff. It makes you more prone. So even though I'm young, I have really bad nearsightedness, so I still am at risk for these type of conditions. And knowing all this, I have been terrified that I'm having a retinal detachment, and I don't have the money to see an eye doctor. I don't have that kind of help. I just don't. And part of it is me, because I didn't want to sign up for government health care and stuff, and I have my reasons. People don't understand it, but it is what it is. I just don't want to. I have issues with the health system, if that makes any sense, and I just really have trust issues with that whole thing, and I know that I was going to have to pay, and my mom was just like, you're not going to have to, and I'm like, I don't believe you, and she's like, you have to get on the phone and fight with them and all this crap, and I just couldn't do it. I'm sorry. It's just not available enough. I'm going to be honest, it's just not. It's not good enough. Flat out. If I have to get on there and fight with them and talk about how poor I am for 3 hours, I'm not interested in doing that. So, my mom did it. That's great. I don't want to do it. And plus, I'd have to pay for vision. So I still would certainly have to pay. So that's why I did not want to sign up, because I can't even pay my bills. So it's just very stressful. Very, very stressful. So add to that the fact that I already have a history of hypochondria that developed in 2018. And there have been so many times where I have cried wolf within my own body that it's hard for me to take anything seriously with myself. I will never forget going to the emergency room thinking that I was having a heart attack, and I wasn't. And the only thing that the doctor said at the time was that my blood pressure was super high and that I should have been medicated. And I just said, well, I don't have health insurance because my job denied it to me, which that was an abusive work environment, which I have talked about many times. And no, I was not just being dramatic about that work environment. It legitimately was abusive. They legitimately denied me my benefits. They denied me of my basic rights as a person, as a worker. So I think you can understand some of my anti-corporate views that have arisen from that time. But anyways, I was very much, even my anti-California views, if I'm honest. But that's another video for another day. And anyways, I was struggling with hypochondria then anyways. So the odds that I'm having a retinal detachment or that there's something really catastrophic happening with my eyes is very low. When I've already been having a trend of my vision improving and all this stuff, it just wasn't likely. And so what had happened next is throughout January, I started developing migraines. And, really bad migraines. I had it in December as well. I've had migraines here or there throughout the past year and throughout this journey. I did research and it showed that estrogen and migraines are very related. If your estrogen is going down, it can trigger a migraine. And just certain shifts in my body throughout January, like I really don't have diarrhea anymore. I'm cold. I don't really have the adrenaline that I used to, unless if I'm having a panic attack or something, right? But I'm not really dealing with the stuff I was dealing with. My body has shifted pretty drastically in January. So I also started getting up early and going to bed early. That's huge. And so I think I might have noticed floaters more just because I'm up in the day and I'm outside when the sun is out. So as I have been nocturnal for years, but my hormones have improved to the point where I am now getting up in the daytime. I get up at 8 in the morning, 7:30 in the morning every day. I go to bed at 1:30, 12:30, 2 at the latest. Like, I can't stay up like I used to. That's why I don't stream at night anymore. But that's a huge sign of health and benefit from this diet. Not to mention my blood pressure starting to become normal. So there are good things happening, but there are some distressing things or concerning things, I'll say. Because I think in the past week or so, my migraines have shifted where now it's like I'm getting more ocular migraine symptoms where I don't really develop the headache, but I have had some vision disturbances. Like, I've been seeing stars, and when I was already really anxious about my eyesight, it just triggered a huge panic attack. And there's a lot of other factors that went into it. Like, I've been very loose. My mom went on a trip very recently. She went to California to see our friend because my friend's having a baby. And so I was like knitting her baby blanket and, just really stressed and trying to make rent and just trying to do everything and never really relaxing at all throughout January. And so she finally took the blanket to her. It was beautiful, by the way. I should post it on Instagram. It was such a beautiful blanket. I wish I could have seen it more. But my friend was so happy. But anyways, that's a side note. So anyways, me and my mom got in this massive fight right before she left. It was really scarring. And it was one of the worst fights we've ever had, actually. So we've had 2 really brutal fights since we've lived together. One of them was in April and the other one was in January. It was that bad. So that was really hard. And then she was gone after. And so, like, it was hard for me to be strong because I was just so tired from everything. And so I just kind of went loose. I started getting ice cream and, I let my herbs slide. So there are 2 things that I take daily to help my hypothyroidism and my estrogen levels. Those 2 things are coffee and stinging nettle root. So stinging nettle root in particular, it is something that helps you lower your estrogen pretty drastically. It is very helpful to lower your estrogen. And estrogen being too high will cause, psychotic effects or, will cause anxiety attacks, different things that will really harm your situation, your psychology, and also your body, because it's also the panic attacks and that kind of stuff. So I had my own supply chain issue. That was my fault because I let it go and I didn't order it soon enough to get to get new pills in on time. So I had to start cutting down my dose to half. And every time I do that, I just see how I am not ready for it. Like, my anxiety just goes to another level. It gets worse and worse as the days go on, and it gets really, really hard. And it caused me to backslide. And I also I wasn't drinking coffee anymore because I was like, I don't need the coffee, or maybe the coffee is hurting my vision. I don't know. I was just thinking weird stuff. So coffee's causing my migraines, that kind of buying into the narrative again. And so I stopped drinking coffee and I wasn't taking as much. And within 4 days, I am having full-blown panic attacks. I am backtracking into December territory. I haven't been eating organic. I haven't been doing the things that I need to do. I've been a little too loose with my diet. I was having marshmallows, just because it's like sometimes you get so fatigued from doing everything right. And also, I think I had a little bit of overconfidence with my body and with my mental health, thinking that it was stronger than it really was, when, yeah, it's better than it's ever been. But if I don't keep on it, I will backtrack really easy and go back into panic attack mode because I'm right there. It's not like I was having massive panic attacks in December of 2020 and I'm a year out from that. No, it was January. It's February. I just was in that situation. So I still have to be very strict, and it's just hard. It's hard to be so strict. So what am I going to do now? What I'm going to do is, obviously there are certain things that I'm doing wrong. There are certain things I'm doing right. My blood pressure is normalizing. Despite hate comments from the stupid vegans, I am not fatter than I've ever was. It was so funny. One of them was like, you know what though? They don't really bother me that much anymore, which is kind of funny. But I guess because I'm just it's kind of like eyes on me, And they watch more. They watch so much. They are just on it. So I just am honestly, I do this for attention anyways. So why am I going to act like a victim when I wanted attention anyways? But anyways, they were, one of them was like, you're delusional. You're fatter than ever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just by what standard? I don't weigh. My weight is not the highest it's ever been. It just isn't. It's not drastically lower, but it's not higher. And my waist is, if anything, still trending downward. It has slowed down. I haven't been going to the gym either. That's another thing I let go. So without going to the gym, the inches lost has slowed down, but it is still happening. It's just slower. So it's I'm not fatter than I ever was. You're nuts, basically. Or that's why I just asked him, by what standard? By my waist? By my weight, like how am I fatter than I ever was? Like I have objective measurement. They act like I don't keep track or something. It's so stupid. But I don't care what they think. I don't care if I look fatter in their eyes, you know. But yeah, anyways, I was just like, I am still doing okay. It's not like I went and got a bunch of chips and stuff, but it's just a little too loose. And I think that I need to get back to organic, especially organic dairy, I think is really important. And, you know, get back on my herbs and my coffee and go back to the gym and stuff, because the gym does help with anxiety attacks and stuff like that. So it's like, I think at this point I really have to tighten things up. And as far as my visual disturbances go, I saw that when you have really terrible anxiety or even having a panic attack, you can actually, it can cause you to see stars. It can cause you to have visual effects like blurred vision and this type of stuff, because it's so, you know, you hyperventilate and you have this whole thing happening in your body. And I already have dry eyes because of the hypothyroid. So it's like, I think what's happening, which we'll see how this goes, but I think what's happening is that I am experiencing really bad dehydration. I think the herbs that I take in the coffee I drink is a diuretic because it lowers your estrogen, which will lower your fluid retention. And basically, I think I'm just not drinking enough water to counteract that diuretic effect. And over time, it's like I'm getting more and more dehydrated. Plus, it's hard to find water here. It's one of the supply chain issues is water, spring water. They will have purified water, but that water is very dehydrating. So you have to like really look and like really be responsible and really pay attention to where they have spring water here. So I did get some last night, and I've been drinking more water today, and to be honest, my anxiety is going down. I feel better. I think that could definitely be a major part of why I'm experiencing these type of things. It's just dehydration. My eyes might be shriveling up in my head. I'm so dehydrated. So I'm going to really make an effort to drink a lot more water, honestly, and take the herbs that I need to take. And I think not being so dehydrated in addition to the stress that I have should help bring down panic attacks and anxiety, and getting my coffee and my stinging nettle root will bring down the estrogen, and that should get me back on track. And already today I took my full dose because I have enough for 5 days. My new pills should be coming, which they're actually going to be stronger, which is interesting, by Friday, hopefully. So I have enough for until Friday. So I took the full dose today, my 2 pills and the coffee, and I already feel so much better. It's just crazy. It doesn't even take very long. And then just drinking water and drinking water. And I think as I keep drinking water, my eyes will rehydrate. And after I pay the rent and stuff, I'm going to go to the eye doctor. Because like I said, I think regardless of anything, I need to just know what's happening. And the other thing I need to do is, do my due diligence and make sure that there's nothing happening due to the fact that I'm so nearsighted. There is a possibility, although it's very unlikely. And I can also get 2 pairs of glasses or whatever for pretty cheap. So, and I need to get different glasses. These are SJW glasses. They're very they don't mix with my tone. Like, they're black, and I just don't want to wear black. So I want to get like a gold frame really bad, like a metallic gold frame, I think would be really nice on me. And then maybe like if I get plastic, like if there's 2, then I'll get like a light brown. So like light brown and gold metallic, I think would be really nice. These are just not the color for me. It's not a good look for me. Plus it's SJW, so. Not that that's a problem, I guess. I mean, I don't think I look that bad, to be honest, in these glasses, but I just think it's time for something new. Like, I've had these glasses, I've had black plastic glasses forever. And it's not my color anyways. So, anyways, regardless, I should go to the eye doctor anyways so I can get new glasses, and it's going to be pretty affordable, and hopefully I'll be in the clear with that, and then I can let that anxiety go and just keep going with staying strict on everything, because I'm not that strong. I'm not as strong as I thought I was. So with that, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.